What's up, all my Ewoks, trolls, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of Willow Episode 3. But before I get into that, guys, my channel is Hardcore Shadow Bend here on YouTube, so every single like, share, comment really helps out my channel fighting the pesky YouTube algorithm. And if you guys haven't yet, maybe take a minute, smash that subscribe button, and ring the bell for notifications. Make sure that that bell is set to all. That way you actually get notifications when I post videos and live streams. And now that that's out of the way, let's get on to the review. Alright, now like always, guys, I kind of like to have visual aids pulled up so that way when I'm talking about things, you guys have something to look at. And because the show is on Disney Plus, it won't allow me to take screenshots of anything, so we're just going to go with this poster that's Drew Sturzan style. And it's got kind of all the characters, so I'll just point at them and then you guys can see what I'm talking about. But also, guys, before I do get into it, if you guys are interested, when I watch these, I do live tweet threads. These are linked down below in the description of this video, and you guys can go and like see me live tweet what's happening, what I kind of think of it as I watch it. A lot of people enjoy it and they think it's funny. I try to be funny. I aspire. You know, it's good to have aspirations and goals in life. So I try to be kind of funny when I post those, but people really enjoy them. And like I said, those are linked down below in the description of this video if you guys want to go check it out and get a laugh for yourself. And it obviously is in chronological order when I'm tweeting it, because I'm tweeting it as it happens, right? But so now that's out of the way, let's talk about this episode. And just fair warning, it's going to get kind of crazy, and if things don't make very much sense, well, I didn't write the show. That's just how it happens. But, okay, let's talk about this. So, the beginning of the show, if you guys missed my last review, one of the things that happened, so this dude right here, I don't know his name. He's like a dude that is a warrior that somehow knew Mad Mardigan, and he was locked up in like the prison of the castle, but he still does whatever Sorsha tells him to. But he's going along with Princess Kit and all of them, and he kind of alluded to Kit in the last episode that he knew her father, and he knows what happened to him. So the beginning of this episode is him telling a story about two princes fighting over the kingdom, and it shows like some kind of cylinder device that goes into somebody's armor, and that's kind of like the key to something. It doesn't make any sense. Let me elaborate on that. It doesn't make any sense, nor does it get explained. So if you guys think I'm not making sense, again, I didn't write the show. But so for whatever reason, he's talking about this thing, and then he gets interrupted, and Kit's like, what, so you don't know my dad? Like, what does this have to do with my dad? She starts bitching, and that's basically the key of this. I really hope that they're going to do some kind of redemption arc for her, because she is such an unlikable character. She is annoying, she's rude, she's self-centered, she's selfish, she doesn't care about anyone but herself. She doesn't even care about her damn girlfriend and her girlfriend's feelings. Everything is all about her 100% of the time. She hates everyone is dumb in her opinion, and she is the bestest ever. So I don't know, maybe they're gonna do a redemption arc, but based on the way that they've done this episode and the other two episodes, I highly doubt it. But so in the last episode, Elora got taken by the bad knights that are possessed by the crone lady, and apparently nobody noticed that she didn't go to bed that night. Nobody noticed that she wasn't at dinner that night. She just got taken by the bad guys, and like she was trying to get her magic, and it made a plant, and that was like the big reveal at the end of the last episode. It's like, oh, she's been struggling with magic this one episode for the last 10 minutes that she knew who she was and was practicing magic. But so there was like a little plant at the end, and all of a sudden now this plant is like a small tree / bush thing, and Kit got frustrated with this dude, and she walks off, and because everyone's like, oh, where's Elora? And she gets pissed because Elora is the center of attention, not her, so she gets pissed and storms off. But she runs into the bush, and she's like looking at the bush, and she realizes like, oh, it's Elora. And then everyone runs into the bad guys, because even though they've had all night to escape, for whatever reason they stayed right next to their camp. So everyone goes to the bad guys that are right there. For some reason, they didn't take off into the night with their prize. They just stayed right there. And Elora's like tied up on their horse. And this chick, Kit's girlfriend, was, I guess, trained by the main knight that is bad and possessed. And so it's kind of this like face off, and like Willow's like, I'll do a distraction. And he starts like mixing potions and stuff while everyone kind of starts fighting. And Kit's betrothed dude, the dude that's in all the Wes Anderson movies, he goes to untie Elora, and she's like, can't anyone else save me? But we all know that like he's in love with her for whatever reason. All of a sudden he finds out she's Elora Denham, and it's all of a sudden like she walks on freaking water, which I mean she might literally do in this show. We don't know because they haven't done that yet. But I feel like that's going to be one of those bait and switches later where she's in love with the prince, and the whole time she's trying to get the prince, and then at the end it's going to be like that switch where it's like, oh no, she's actually in love with this dude because he's believed in her the entire time. Or maybe they might not even do that, but that could be a thing because he's obviously into her, and she starts bitching about him being the one to save her. And then Willow does his magic as everyone's kind of losing against these bad guys, and he makes this, all he does is he mixes potions and it makes smoke. And guess what? It doesn't even work in their favor. It allows the bad guys to all get away. So all the bad guys get away. And they're like, ah, shit, they got away. Oh no, what do we do? And then it cuts to a scene of like Elora waking up, and she's like getting out of her bonds, like because they're all tied up and she's trying to get away, and they're all in a wagon. Or I guess like Kit's got a horse, this dude's got a horse, but apparently I don't know. Sometimes they all have horses, sometimes they don't, and sometimes there's just like a wagon and two horses. It doesn't make much sense. But so, you know, the wagon got a broken wheel. And Kit this dude, Kit's girlfriend, or excuse me, woman, this chick and this dude, Elora's girlfriend and Elora's betrothed, or not Elora, can't talk right now. Kit's girlfriend and Kit's betrothed dude are trying to push the wagon because it broke a wheel. And then she's like, why doesn't Willow fucking help at all? Like, Willow's supposed to be this powerful sorcerer. He didn't do shit. And he's like, yeah, I think Willow must have lost his magic. Because did you notice that when we were at his village that they were all underground? I think Willow's lost his power to protect them. Like, he doesn't really show much... he doesn't do much magic. And this dude, the betrothed, he apparently knows everything about magic because they get, as they're chasing Elora on the possessed dude's horses, they get to the coast and they see this big cloud. And the big cloud, Will's like, that's where the bad guys are. It's like, really? I wonder. The big, ominous cloud that's like dark and dangerous looking. I wonder where the bad guy's lair is. That's not spot on, right? But he starts explaining it, and Willow chastises him because he's like, you don't know, you're not the sorcerer. And it's like, I'm pretty sure like a prince has access to books and has probably studied things, considering he's completely useless with literally everything else. He's supposed to be like the nerdy guy. But so he's telling her like, yeah, I think Willow lost his magic. She gets pissed off because Willow's like, we can't split up because that's what the bad people want us to do. And they go by a river, and then they get into a fight because she's like, you can't go because you need me to protect you. And the girlfriend reveals like, no, actually, Princess Kit, you're a total B word. And guess what? I'm the bad bitch. I let you win when we spar. And then Kit gets like, what do you mean you let me win? And she's like, you heard me, bitch. And Kit's like, fuck you, basically. And like storms off, and she's mad at her girlfriend because her girlfriend lets her win at sparring. And she's mad about that because she's not the bestest ever. She's not the center of attention. The world doesn't revolve around her, and she's not the bestest ever, so she's upset. Scene cuts to Elora running because apparently she cut her bonds and got away from the bad guy, and she's running through the jungle, or the forest, I should say. And it's all weird cameras, and you can hear an old lady laughing. And then she stumbles upon two lumberjack women. Remember, guys, Remember I said this. Remember I said it's weird? Nothing makes sense? Well, somehow there's some kind of portal between worlds. Elora is running through the forest. She runs into two lumberjack women that are literally wearing jean jumpsuits from Amazon. Everything these two women are wearing, you can find on Amazon Prime. The totally modern outfits, doesn't fit in their world, you know, the Willow world or universe at all. Doesn't make any sense. Elora talks to these two lumberjack women. They see her, you know, little mark on her arm, and they're like, "You're Elora Denham. We pledge our allegiance to you. You're the one that's going to save us," and da-da-da. Bad Knight shows up, and they're like, Elora was originally like, "We need to get out of here." They're like, "Nah, we're staying." Then they find out who she is. Then they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go." Of course, they're too late. Bad guy shows up. Main lumberjack woman fights with the dude. And she thinks she kills him because she puts his axe in his back. She's all happy. They're like, ah, and then he's not dead and he stabs her and she dies. And then Elora and the other lumberjack run off. They get caught by the bad guys. Elora's like begging for the chick's life, and then they kill her anyways. And he's like, "You see that? You did that because you ran away. You need to come with us." Cuts over to Willow and friends. We're going to call it that. We're going to call it Willow and friends. So Willow said like 10 minutes before not to split up. What happens? They split up, and Kit and criminal dude go off, and they find some ruins that are like a graveyard. And he's like, "Yeah, the dude that like owns this place or like used to own it or something, he knew your father." And she was like bitching at him before, but then the second she like hears anything that has to do with her father, she's like, "What? Oh my God." They go into some kind of tunnel, and in the tunnel there's some kind of well that he jumps down, and he's like, "Oh yeah, wait up here for me because you got to pull me up even though you're like a tiny chick that probably doesn't have the body strength to pull up a rope with a full-grown man on it. But you wait here, look out for were-rats." And she's like, "Were-rats?" And it's like, yeah, they're exactly what they sound like, and they will pop up later. He's digging through some like tombs. He finds that cylinder thing that was mentioned at the beginning of the episode in the random flashback scene that didn't make any sense. He finds it, but he lies about finding it. He's like, "Nah, I didn't find it." And then you know, she needs to pull him up. The were-rats show up and she's got to kill him. And he's like, "Yeah, leave me down here." She's like, "No, get the fuck up because more are coming." And while this is happening, Elora shows up at the same place with the bad guys, and they see the horses, and they want her to go up some kind of steps. And it's literally called like the scary steep steps is the way that they refer to it in the show, and I'm not making that up. And she's like, "No, I'm a powerful sorcerer." And remember how like the last episode, like for the last 10 minutes, she was practicing magic and she like barely did it. She couldn't pronounce anything. Well, now all of a sudden she's like Harry fucking Potter and she's saying magical spells. And when she touches them, they're like, "Ah!" And it starts raining, and Willow and the rest of the gang show up, and they got to fight all of the bad guys, and they see Elora, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna save you, Elora." She's got to fight the main knight dude, who's apparently the guy that trained her, that she's like is her father figure, you know, Kit's girlfriend's father figure. Willow's got to use magic. His other little friend is trying to fight. Kit and this dude get out of the tunnel, and they show up and they start fighting, and Willow realizes this is a fight we can't win because they're all possessed by the bad guy. And so Willow finally's got to do the magic. And guess what? Willow does the magic, and he uses his scepter, and he's like, "Ah!" And he uses the magic, and it does this thing, and it gets the bad spirit juju stuff out of the possessed knights. But before that happens, his friend gets mortally wounded. His little friend gets mortally wounded. And the knights, you know, they're all cured. So everyone's crying, right? Because Kit's like holding, or not Kit, Kit's girlfriend is holding the knight that like trained her, and she's like crying. He's like, "I believed in you. I'm so proud of you." And then he dies. Will goes over to the corner where his friend is, and his friend's like, "Here's this little thing. Give it back to Libby. And, you know, I got to go on an adventure with my friend." And then he dies. And then, you know, Willow's crying. I'm like, "Oh, is this the end of the episode? It's going to be this heartfelt moment between Willow and his friend that died." No, it's not the end of the episode. Because they got to go up the steep steps. Well, first they're like, "Oh, it rained, so it flooded the way that we came, so now we got to go another way." And Willow's like, "No, we're not going that way. That's the bad way." And they're like, "Well, that's the only way, but let's do it." So they start going up the bad steps, and Kit's betrothed dude he like falls over and he's like, I'm in pain because one of the bad guys bit him. And so he's got this bite mark that's like glowing on his shoulder. And they're like, we got to help him. And it's like, what are you going to do? There's no one around. And Willow's like exhausted from using his magic. But then as he's like, on the floor in pain, like going, I got bit. For some reason, they got up the steps. He didn't say anything, at the bottom of the steps. Nobody said anything. They said it when they get there. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, what's that? And they look over and there's the bad castle with all the lightning and special effects. And then some cheesy fucking remix music plays. And that's the end of the episode. Before you start saying in the comment section, Anna, that's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. I know. Again, I didn't write the show. That's just how it is. And it just kind of blows my mind because I'm like, I know you can't use, Mad Mardigan because obviously, Val Kilmer and his cancer. But I mean, you could still have come up with something even on a low budget. And it just kind of blows my mind with what we got. I mean, this is just the most random thing I've ever seen. And one of the things I will give them credit for is that it's not slow. Like, I mean, this episode, like, a lot of stuff happens. Does any of it make sense? Absolutely fucking not. But I mean, it's like, it keeps you on your toes the whole time because it's like right when you're trying to process something, it's like, let's distract them with something else. Like, let's cut here, let's do some weird camera stuff, and let's change it, and then we'll go back, and then just nothing makes sense. Nothing. And even when stuff like starts to make sense, they throw in some curveball, and it's like, huh? What the hell is going on? I don't know. Maybe if I was stoned, it might make more sense to me, but I don't. This is a kid's show, right? So I don't think I don't think that's necessarily their message, but I mean, it's Disney. I could be wrong there. But yeah, is the majority of the budget like going to Warwick Davis? Because I mean, they're literally getting jean overalls from Amazon for the lumberjack ladies. So I don't know what's going on here. I mean, they had these crazy things called books that were, the sequels to Willow, but I mean, I guess that they kind of threw out. They don't want to have anything to do with George Lucas, right? So they threw that out the window, but I don't know. That was something. So I mean, maybe if you guys are looking for just something to entertain your children that is just stuff happening, I mean, I guess you can turn this on. But if you're watching this because you love Willow and you love the universe and you really want to get into in depth with the characters and the universe and the lore, this is probably not the show for you. This is just fast-paced craziness happening all at once, and just stuff happens. That's basically the way to summarize this episode. And there's not even like good acting. Like, I mean, if you really wanted to like get something for Warwick Davis and that tender moment with his friend, but then it's like, no, we're just going to make a comedic relief and something's going to happen. And it's just like, well then, that was something. I watched something. And yeah, that's it. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about all of this down below in the comment section. If you guys liked my video and my review, please smash the like button. If you didn't, that's okay too. Thank you so much for watching this far through. And until next time, guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. What's up, everyone, and thank you so much again for watching my channel and my content. And if you would like to support me further, because I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, as much as I want Mio to get behind me and sponsor me, because I love Mio, I actually created something. I created a cosplay calendar of some of your favorite video game characters, and this is the second cosplay calendar I have done. Everyone really liked the first one, and so, I really am grateful for everyone that's come out and support this one as well. It means the world to me. We already broke the total from last year's entire campaign in the first 30 days of this campaign. So thank you once again, everyone, so much for your support. And if you guys are new here and you guys don't know me, well, then this is a really good way to, get to know me and back my calendar and support my channel. There's a lot of really popular characters that were, requested for the first calendar, like Samus. So I started off with her. And unlike Hollywood, as I try to give you guys what you want, I try to give fans and nerds and, all of us that have been told F you by Hollywood to give, you guys what you want and what I want, which is staying true to characters and trying to do the best version of them that I possibly can. So as you guys can see here, this is my Jill Valentine. I got Jade from Mortal Kombat. I got the one and only Lara Croft, my girl Lara. Then I have Miranda from Mass Effect. Now I'm still adding images of these characters. There are going to be 12 different ones, and if you guys are interested in supporting an independent content creator like myself, this is the way to do it. I do the photos, I do the cosplay, I ship everything out myself. So this is a 100% my own project. So if you guys again want to support me and my channel and keep everything rolling, please consider backing my cosplay calendar. I would really appreciate it. The links are down in the description below, so please check that out if you guys haven't already. And if this isn't something for you, then maybe take a second and share it to somebody who this might be something they'd be interested in. Once again, everyone, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Also, guys, I have a Twitch channel where I play video games like Elden Ring and KOTOR, as well as an Instagram where I post photos from my recent cosplay escapades. If you guys aren't following me on either of those, go do so now. The link is in the description of this video. And just in case if you guys are interested in my art, I have an art Instagram as well where I post all of the time-lapse videos from my recent project, the Eye project, as well as other projects that I've worked on if you scroll down further. And if you're interested in purchasing some prints of my art or stickers or bookmarks and stuff like that, any kind of merchandise that I make based on the stuff that I paint, you guys can go over to my Etsy. It's the Art of Anna TSWG. Everything again that I've showed you will be linked down below in the description of this video. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.